again and again.
What are we doing?
The Triple M Grill Team NRL recovery session.
Doing my head in.
For Co Tire. Co Tire will help make your job happen. 13 15 52 or cotire.com.au.
Yeah, usually up to 7 on a Monday, the NRL recovery session with a long weekend. We'll do it Tuesday today on the Grill Team.
So much going on, Paige, in Rugby League. And in the second break, we're going to talk about State of Origin 2 and all the changes to Queensland and what that means for New South Wales. But a great round of football, and all eyes were on the Bulldogs yesterday. How they'd respond to their week of criticism and soul-searching. Well, what they showed us is that that Des Hasler has not lost the dressing room because they really dug in. A lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. Do we think they've turned the corner, though?
Oh, you'd like to think so, but I not just yet. I wouldn't say they have yet. Yesterday they just showed a lot of enthusiasm. You know, compared to the week before against Penrith, they just didn't turn up. And really good to see Dave Clemmer yesterday stand up and play like he should at club level. He plays like that in Origin, like he did yesterday. So there's no reason why he can't play each week for the Doggies like that as well. And yesterday he was the best player on the ground. And just quickly on that, it was good to see all through the round players in Origin contention. Mitchell Pearce, man of the match. Thurston and Hess. Gillett and Boyd and Slater and Smith all getting Dalian points.
Mate, the thing about it, when I look at the Dogs, right, when I look at the Dogs, I look at them and I say, right, that was on enthusiasm and guts yesterday and really backs to the wall. That's what Bulldogs are really good at. Problem is, still in the creative positions. Right, there's still a lot of bad options here and there. That was a win yesterday on guts. For mine, the problems still exist.
Ability,
you know, and you wait. I mean, look, for me, I look at the Dogs and I say, well, the bottom line, can I see them making a run for the 8? No, I can't. For mine, they're treading water till Kieran Foran gets there.
Yeah.
Well, but the Dragons yesterday, they had the chance to go to second on the ladder.
Yeah.
That was their worst performance of the year.
Yeah, that's right. The Dragons were very poor yesterday, but a really good crowd too. Remember the boycott, don't go to the game and stuff. Over 20,000 people at ANZ. I know it was a bank holiday Monday and that when the weather was set fair, but fantastic the crowd got out there for both teams.
I tell you, just on Penrith, what a win, 24-20 in Bathurst. And I must say, over the Canberra Raiders, 8 points up with just on 2 minutes to go, and they pulled out a victory. Anthony Griffin, the Penrith coach, his decision to move Matt Moylan to 6 is, in my opinion, the best coaching decision of the year so far. Moylan had been paddling. The side's been paddling, but the moment he's gone there, the last 2 weeks, he has been unbelievable, MG.
Yeah, I think it's been a two-pronged positional tactic by Griffin. He put Matt Moylan at 5'8", which I think he is a genuine number 6.
Yeah.
But Dylan Edwards, the young fullback.
Going good.
He ran for over 150 metres, got 2 Dally M points, taking a lot of pressure off Moylan. And he's a big, tall lad, good under the high ball. I was at the club on Saturday night, and basically they were gone with 5 to go. They found a way to win.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why I think Penrith will make that surge to the top 4.
Yeah, you guys said, that both teams were sort of on the edge whether they're going to go up or down.
Yeah.
Canberra. Canberra, how do you lose that match? And then Ricky Stewart afterwards, I think his whole press conference went for about 40-odd seconds of him actually talking so depressed and so down. They've lost 3 golden point games and another game like that now. What a difference those couple of minutes would make.
I know.
In their season, they would have 8 more points and be in the top 4.
The press conference yesterday with Ricky at the press conference was the most dispirited I've seen him. And that says a lot because he's had some tough ones, Ricky, over the years, but that one really hurt. Boys, the bunker, I've had my say in it. I'm no fan of it. I think the game is better off without it. But, God, well, we got it. Is there any chance of having a sneaky look at Akiuate's no try? Manly 18, Newcastle Knights 14. My boys, I just get the feeling. I don't sound like I'm a whinger. I don't think we're getting we're not getting much of a run.
No, you're not.
You find that, but you find the teams that are struggling usually are on the other end of 50 calls. And Newcastle are poor buggers. I'm feeling sorry for them.
Well,
them young blokes gave their all against Manly. I don't think they were ever going to. Well, they could have won.
Well, they only lost by 4.
It took away the opportunity for them to win. But the situation there, Jared Maxwell upstairs in that time between the ball going down and the ref coming across and checking with the touchies, in that 5 seconds, Maxwell has said to Klein, the referee, "That's a try. You don't need to send it upstairs."
The touch judge wanted to.
Right?
The touch judge said, "Go upstairs, mate."
And it was his first grade game. The touch judge.
He's
on
on
debut.
He's on debut, and you can see him in the photo. Go upstairs. He doesn't. Klein in the end obviously gets a lot of the stick, but Maxwell in the end, he's made a really bad call.
Who gets dropped for that?
Well, Maxwell got dropped for the weekend.
For the
rest of the weekend.
And you know who replaced him? Klein, who actually made the on-field decision, even though it wasn't his fault.
Boys, poor, better, best. I'll lead off here on short notice. Look, at my poor are the Tigers. And if you're a Tigers fan watching that yesterday, they really dug in the first half. They were down 16-12, but the Roosters just blew them away. Better. Look, we've spoken about the Bulldogs. They were better. They had to be better. They were well done to them. Best. Right? Ryan Hoffman. Ryan Hoffman is a very understated sort of guy, but he's played his 300th game on the weekend. For the Warriors over the Titans. He picked up a try. He kicked a conversion at the end of the game.
It's not a bad kick either.
And he got a man of the match performance, so well done to Ryan.
Yeah, fantastic. Poor for me, the Tigers and the Dragons. The Tigers, I can't believe how bad they were because the Roosters weren't that good and still scored 40. The Dragons were awful. The Dogs for me were better. I'm glad for that because I like the Doggies. But best for me were the Panthers on and off the field. I read some stuff over the weekend. They've really committed to that Bathurst area. 10 years, another 10 or 11 years they're going to go there. They get there up there for the whole week. They do schools, they do training, they're into the businesses, they've got sponsors. They've committed not just to that game, but to that actual area. And I think the Panthers are doing something you've been asking for years, MG, that clubs have to take on an area and dominate them.
Make it their own.
And make it their own. Other clubs, just have a look at the blueprint that Gus Gould and Panthers done and repeat it.
Yeah, well said, Gussie. I think poor for me was there's a couple of teams that stood out, but I think Garrett. I want to go on an individual yesterday. Widdop's performance yesterday was, for me, I think I wanted him to stand up and take that game by the horns, and he just didn't. He just kept. It was a lot of individual play by the Dragons yesterday, which made me a little bit disappointed because their form has been so good. Better, I think the Panthers. They've kind of hit a purple patch, 4 in a row, looking really good. But the best was up in Darwin, Jonathan Thurston he put on a
wow.
clinic.
How disappointing was that to watch?
He put on a
fired a warning shot to New South Wales.
So many times he got hit late in that shoulder.
And he just, keeps going. Yeah, State of Origin 2 just around the corner. And, I tell you, we might be 1-0 up, but it is must win because Game 3, you don't want to go to a decider in Queensland when they're going to celebrate the Origin career of Jonathan Thurston, possibly Cooper Cronk. We've got to win this one. Now, interesting, NRL tonight, the big talking point are the 7 changes to Queensland. NRL tonight caught up with Gene Miles after the team was announced. Didn't seem so enthusiastic.
Yes, I'm with Gene. Obviously, let's go through the hard phone calls first. Sam Thaiday, how'd he take it?
Well, fortunately for me, Sean, I didn't have to make them.
Not that one?
No, the coach made them all.
Nate Miles, of course, he's left out. But Corey Oates, that's an enormous call considering what he did. Why such a big call on him?
Tough call, really tough call. Kevy's very keen to give him a crack at the big stage, which, we got no doubt he'll handle.
Yeah, it's hard to see there, but you've got to say, like Gene, he was... I don't know. For me, there's been a lot of talk in Game 1 was that Kevy didn't get the side he wants. For mine, Kevy got the side he wants in Game 2.
Okay, let's talk about Game 2. Slater and JT returning. Mm-hmm. What does that do for the Queensland team?
Well, the Beatles are back together. It's a combination, Gus, and State of Origin rep football is all about combination. And it's just, Thurston, Cronk, Smith and Slater, first of all, the threat there. Then the threat of Thurston on the left, and the threat of Valentine Holmes. Valentine Holmes through the middle. Valentine Holmes is a hell of a footballer, right? And you watch him when he plays the Sharks. He kick-starts their sets of 6 on kick returns or play 2s, drills them, wanders out to his wing, or if he's playing fullback, just floats around. Then all of a sudden starts to appear at the end of sets again. Sniff on the inside of the playmakers. So he'll suit that style of football perfectly, State of Origin.
Where are they going to attack us? Where will Queensland attack New South Wales in Game 2?
Well, I think it's the first time since, 17 years that the Blues are unchanged from one game to the next. That's going to be a big plus. Where they'll attack this, look, wherever they want to, I suppose. Because,
at will.
But I think we've got the defence to combat that. That's the thing. I think they've picked, there's no doubt about it. Queensland have picked a lot better youthful, exuberant team than Game 1. And you look at their even Glasby, everyone's going, who's Glasby? You watch him when he puts that maroon jersey on. Like Maddie mentioned earlier this morning, everyone said the same about Dallas Johnsons and all these blokes who come into the Queensland team and all of a sudden they've played 30 Origin games. Yeah. Where if that was a New South Wales player 5 or 6 years ago, they'd get in and out straight away.
I tell you what, you watch them, there's a big preparation ahead for our middlemen. And for Laurie Daly to school our middlemen on what to expect through the middle from Queensland, that's where they'll go us. They'll go us through the middle without a doubt. They've picked a team to blow us apart, try to blow us apart through the middle of the field. So that's those little bag of tricks and those little trick shots that that Cronk, Smith and Slater come up with at Melbourne. They'll be all to go. Thurston doing the same. Valentine Holmes appearing through the middle. They've picked a side that can blow apart a team through the middle. And it's not just about the middlemen from New South Wales having the miles in their legs, you know, and wanting to get out there and wanting to turn up. It's about being smart as a defender, because you've got to read the plays, right? You've got to be able to have your eyes up and be able to, the ability to read the play and know when Slater's going to turn up at different little places. They disguise the plays so well. That's the thing these Queensland blokes do. So, when I looked at the makeup of this side, again, I look back to game one and go, I just couldn't believe that's the side they picked. When you have a look at the threat that this side poses.
Yeah, we all look back in retrospect now and think, well, that side that they picked in game one was so behind the eight ball as far as our energy goes and how vibrant.
And form as well.
And I think, talking about Kevy Walters getting the team he wants, so he should. The selector should be an advisor, like our New South Wales selector should be an advisor to Laurie Daly. But Laurie Daly, at the end of the day, it's his nuts on the chopping block. Okay. So if he wants to pick a team he wants, let him pick it. Same as Kevy Walters. He should get the team he wants.
They can live and die by that. What about game one? I think we're all in agreement. Best of all time.
Oh, so good. The first half.
Oh, wow. It was amazing, wasn't it? What about the style of game two? We're going to see something similar to what we saw in game one?
Every bit as dramatic, Gus. Different type of game, though. You got to understand, little things make a big difference in the sport. And just see, when you go up and play at Suncorp Stadium, it's totally dry. It's a dry surface, and it's fast, and allows you to transfer the ball through the hands really quick. And that's why there was so much sideline-to-sideline movement, and blokes out in their feet, and the pace of the game was so quick. Origins in Sydney at ANZ Stadium, they're tighter. It's a more grinding fair. It's mainly played through the middle, again, and that's where Queensland will play through the middle. And so it's just the very fact that little bit of extra dew on the football is that you can't get that ball, if you're a playmaker, in the hands and transfer it quite as quick and hit the mark quite as easily. So it tends to sort of, in a lot of ways, it would bring those Queensland sides back a little bit. But the biggest thing for New South Wales is that when I look at game one, we played like a side who were the underdog, who wanted it more, Gus, who was just more desperate to win. Like, we needed to win this. Our time had come. If we are any less desperate, the defeat will be heavy. So we've got to be every bit as desperate as we were in game one. If we don't, they're going to blow us apart.
And please, as of game one, put your whistles away, referees. First 40 was the spectacle it was, because the referee said, let the boys play, let's see a bit of attrition, and in the end we won. The attrition value. Please put your whistles away. I heard, correct me if I'm wrong here, and it might be wrong, but I heard over the weekend that Tony Archer was angry at the referees in game one for not blowing enough penalties.
Yeah, let's hope you're wrong.
I hope I heard wrong, because that first 40 minutes, and I think every rugby league connoisseur will agree, was the best 40 minutes we've ever seen. It's
brilliant.
All right, it's that time of the week.
Come on, man!
It's time for Come On, Man!
Well, there's a lot of people who could be Come On, Man this week. But
come on, man!
It goes to, I think Ashley Klein deserves it.
Come on, man.
It's not his fault.
Ashley Klein.
It wasn't his fault. It was Maxwell's fault.
Mate.
Freo, have you got a Come On, Man?
Yeah, I do. What's with naming like 30 men squads? Like, come on, man.
Come on, man.
That is a good one, Freo. That is a good one. It makes it, tell you what, there's a lot of hotel rooms get taken up, doesn't it?
Yeah, come on, I don't have enough eyes to read all those names in the paper.
I love the 30-man squad.
Have you got one?
Have I got a Come On, man? Have I got a Come On, man?
Come on, man.
Yeah, too late, mate.
Can we go Jared Maxwell?
Oh, Jared Maxwell, you're an idiot on the field, and now you're a clown in the bunker. How hard is it when the technology is there? Just let it flow, brother. Until we get rid of it, let it flow. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I got one too. Akil Wade. Akil, seriously, why weren't you doing this last year at Newcastle? We could have done with those tries, brother.
That's Come On, Man. It's the NRL recovery session for Coates Hire. They'll help make your job happen. Give them a call on 13 15 52 or coateshire.com.au.